Back to basics today. I had a lot of people tweet me, send me messages on my Patreon, all this stuff saying, Simon, I just want you to talk how you used to talk. Because on this vlog series, we now kind of jump all over the place, but when we did start it, we were talking about anxiety, mental health, depression, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hence the title of the video. And if you are joining for the first time, welcome. My name is Simon Miller, a bald-headed idiot who does appear here on YouTube, and I talk about all manner of things on this vlog series. That's right, just repeated myself and kind of used the same words. If you're interested about why I do this stuff, I know most people like we know Miller, you've talked about it, but I always like to cater for everybody. It is nice and simple. I think we're living in 2019. Thankfully, the rise of social media and just the world we live in does mean that, the topic of mental health isn't as much of a taboo as it still was. However, I personally don't believe that it gets talked about enough, or at least not in the, I don't say not in the right way. I just think we can do more. It's as simple as that. So I know I have a big platform, but I thought, well, I can come on here. I can run my mouth. I can rant. If it's to get seen by loads of people, great. If it doesn't, great. Even if it helps one person, at least I can kind of feel like I've done my bit. And I am very passionate about it. Mental health is, it doesn't discriminate. That's the thing that people say, and it's true. It doesn't matter if you're rich, poor. It doesn't matter, where you're from. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter on anything. You can suffer mental health problems from nowhere. If you know me from my wrestling work, you all know the story of Lars Sullivan at the moment. A guy who was meant to debut on Monday Night Raw, smashed it in NXT, about to live his dream, and then apparently, according to the rumor mill, suffered anxiety attacks and had to go home, and he hasn't come back since. It's since transpired, I don't know how true this stuff is, but I'm just trying to build up an idea of why I think we should talk about this more, that maybe in his earlier years, he was a bit condescending or a bit, he didn't really understand how much of an issue mental health, anxiety, all those things can be, and now he's suffering from it. Now, I don't think that means we now jump on the man's back and go, karma's a bitch and all of that, but I do think it's a sobering lesson to learn. I mean, you should never judge anybody on their past actions anyway. If they've come forward and shown genuine remorse and genuine forgiveness and that they want to change, I think, you have to, it depends what they've done, right? But to a certain degree, you have to draw a line somewhere if you think someone is trying to turn their life around. But, my point being this is that I would always reach out to someone, even through the magic of the camera and the internet, to someone like Lars Sullivan and say, look, I hope, you're doing okay, and I hope you can eventually get back to a point where you can go and get the thing you've worked very hard to do. And the reason I started with that as well is it does tie into the video this week, giving yourself a break. I know loads of people, and I include myself in this, that from time to time you can be very hard on yourself, right? You can beat yourself up to the point that even some days you'll have a good day and you'll be happy and you'll decide, why am I happy? What's gone wrong? What's going to happen later? That's just how the human brain works. Sometimes you can have a really, really good day and it creates an unsettling and a weird atmosphere because you almost feel guilty for being happy. And that is representative society at the moment, I think. There is this, almost this idea that nobody is meant to be happy, or that, especially I think it comes from social media, right? Social media can be a very negative place. And when you're kind of getting bombarded with that negativity all the time, if you can wade through it and find yourself in more positive waters, it can feel a little bit alarming, a little bit strange. Like, what is this? And you do, well, at least lots of people do start to feel guilty. But I think it's at times like that when you do just need to sit down and take some moment for you. The term self-care is very popular in the modern day. And while I think that could probably be represented better, I do think there is something in there. It's not selfish putting yourself first. If you're, we only get one life as far as we know, and it's not very, very long. And if you keep putting yourself in situations where you're not happy, really, that's the most counterproductive and counterintuitive thing you can do, because before you can start bringing joy and happiness to any kind of situation or anybody else, you've got to be happy within yourself. So I think it's absolutely fine, it is absolutely fine sometimes to sit down, go through maybe things that you're struggling with, or, work through worries you have in your head, or whatever it could be, and just say to yourself, you know what, it's going to be all right, and for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, I'm not going to worry about it. Now, obviously, it's not that easy. Again, the quote of all of this, is, or the tagline, is it's not like flicking a light switch. My light switch is over there, which is why I just did that. You have to teach yourself to do it. And again, it's not a simple thing. But even if you just take 30 seconds a day when you say, I'm going to sit in that chair over there, and I'm not going to let anything bother me, and any kind of bad thoughts that come into my head, I'll accept them, but I'll just throw them away. 30 seconds is nothing, right? You can even start with 5 seconds. 5 seconds where you just don't think about anything bad. then you can move up to 30 seconds, then you can move up to a minute, and so on and so forth, and you build it up. It is a form of meditation. It's not for everybody, but I do think it's something that's worth doing. But the point, as always, is that it's all right to feel like shit, and it's all right to give yourself a few minutes where you do whatever makes you feel good. You give yourself a break, right? Even if the ironic thing is to you eating a Kit Kat, go eat that Kit Kat and don't feel guilty about the calories, the carbs, the fats. Eating one Kit Kat ain't going to kill you. And if it does, that's a whole different video we'll have to do for a different day. But we do this, and we do get caught up in these, again, the headlines of the news, or again, social media going crazy, other people and what they're saying to you. It's all swirling around your head at all times, but you just need to throw it out there sometime and go, I'm going to eat a Kit Kat, I'm going to watch a movie, I'm going to play a video game, and that's cool. That's cool. Like, we all want to be, there's another side to this where everybody wants to be productive. We always want to be moving forward, and of course you do. Like, you want to get the most out of your time as you possibly can. But one of the best quotes ever, I'm not a big Beatles fan, I don't even know if John Lennon actually said this, but it's always attributed to him, so I'll go with it. And I'm paraphrasing here, of course. But that was, wasted time that you enjoy is not wasted. He said it a lot more poetically than that, but it's absolutely true. If you lounge around playing Fortnite for 3 hours, but when you're done you feel relaxed and you haven't been worrying about anything, you haven't overly been thinking, then that was absolutely the best use of your time, because you enjoyed yourself. And I think sometimes you can get carried away with maybe what others expect of you or what you expect of yourself. And again, it is good to have those expectations. It is good to push yourself if you're of that ilk. Tying into all of this, if you're not that person, it's all right to quit. That's my other big thing as well. Like, as long as you know 100% deep down and you're not doing it for reasons that don't actually, tie into your own brain. But if 100% deep down you know that whatever it is you're currently doing isn't for you and you walk away, then that gives you strength of character. Because it's really hard to walk away from things, especially if maybe there's an outside pressure. Be that family, friends, or maybe you just feel like this is the thing that defines me. The only thing that defines you are your own actions. And if your own actions take you away from an activity or whatever it may be that you don't like, you should pat yourself on the back. That's really hard to do something like that, especially because there may be some fallout from other people. But that's where, you've got to fill up your self-worth tank. So it doesn't matter what anybody else says, because you know you did the right thing for you. And that's when it ties into listening to your gut. I live by this. I think if you always listen to your gut and you know what it's trying to tell you and you go with it, you really can't have any regrets, because I do think most people's instincts are very good. Obviously, that's going to vary person to person, but it's going to depend on your life experiences too. But if you are getting this overwhelming feeling that this is bad, I don't want to do it anymore, and you act on that, you are taking control. And I think taking control in that sense is only going to help you more, and also is a way to take a break, because you're taking this pressure off doing something that you don't want to do. And I know I'm not giving specifics here, but it could be a sport, it could be the job, it could be a relationship, it could be a money thing. Like, it could go on forever. Like, only you know what you're struggling or what you're going through at the moment. I just want to point out as well, I just said this earlier, obviously I'm just a guy that likes talking about this stuff. If you are struggling, or you feel like you need to talk to someone, there's loads of people out there. Talk to a friend, talk to a family member, reach out to a counsellor, your GP, medical professionals. There's loads of people that can help you with this stuff. And I promise you, eventually, with the right time and with the right situations you find yourself in, or at least I hope, you'll start getting better. But yeah, I think, again, even though it's just a bald dude again shouting through a camera lens, I think sometimes it's nice just for somebody else that maybe you don't know directly to say it's all right for you to take a break. I mean, who am I, right? I'm just some guy. I'm nobody important. But it is all right. And sometimes people just need to hear that. And that's why I do these things, so that hopefully you hear it and you go, okay, cool. It's all right. It's all right to do that. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Like, there's obviously ways and means to that. If you're in a relationship and you're playing video games all the time and there's no real connection between you and your partner, then of course, but then that's affecting other things that may be stressing you out too. There's got to be compromise and things in moderation, blah, blah, blah. But putting yourself first and having a bit of self-care and telling yourself everything's going to be all right, or just telling yourself, I'm a good person. I'm a good person. And maybe this bad thing that happened to me a couple of weeks ago didn't deserve to happen to me. No, it probably didn't. But sometimes life throws you a curveball, and as we know, it's not the cards you dealt, it's what you do with those cards once you've got them. And we're all going to go through it. Like, even if right now you are having a good time, there's going to be ups and downs, hard joke, lol, if you watch me on What Culture. But that's why it's best to put the work in now, so that when we do hit these stumbling blocks, hopefully we're in a good enough position on the up, so that when the down does come, we deal with it a little bit better. And that's all life really is. No one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Like the story with, I can't remember his first name, but the Cardiff City football player Salah, who died on that, or certainly seems like he died on that prop plane. They found the wreckage today. That story really kind of impacted everyone. I'm just talking from a personal point of view. But to get this move to the Premier League, which I think is a goal for many football players, and not even get to day one because you, again, took a prop plane or whatever they're called, and what happened, it's difficult to process. And I don't know the guy, I'm not a Cardiff City fan, but just as a human being trying to figure that out, I don't know how anybody processes it. And I think, again, that goes to show that if you need 5 minutes to do something for you, you're absolutely allowed to do it because we don't know what's around the corner. It's crazy life. It's genuinely crazy. And that's probably why a lot of people do, get anxious, get apprehensive, get a bit nervous, have attacks or what. Of course, because there's a lot to worry about. But that's why it's all right to have some fun. It's all right to entertain yourself, and it's all right to take a break. So give yourself a break. Use the comments below to have a chat about this, should you so wish. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. You know all the YouTube stuff. And yeah, we'll do another one this week. It's the Simon Miller's Vlog series where I just talk now in front of a red screen. Going from a green screen over there to a red screen over here. And we'll see you soon.